Hey, how you doing? This is another episode of Speedrun the podcast, a podcast that's based on the Waffle Press movie podcast. I'm your host, Gina Versa. Today we're talking Civil War, new movie by Alex Garland, and I have a good friend of mine. He worked with me at G4. He also worked at like Geek and Sundry.
I did,
Great,
yeah. I worked at Geek
yeah,
and Sundry and Nerdist. I worked with Mikey a little bit, although we weren't super close.
yeah, exactly, yeah. I have my good friend Jeremy on the show. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Good, good. I'm doing good. Yeah, it's good to see you. We were like catching up
Yeah.
before the recording.
Thank you for having me. This has been great so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, I know I did a little intro for you, but before we get into the main activity, can you tell us like a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. I'm Jeremy. I'm a video editor. Been editing for 5 or 6 years professionally. And yeah, used to work at Geek and Sundry. Um, and worked at G4. That was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing stuff for Studio 71. So I don't know if anybody's using, if you're on Snapchat and you watch things like Killer Instinct or Gavin Magnus,
Mhm.
then I do that. But if you don't, then yeah. I'm also a musician, make
Oh,
music.
yeah.
Yeah, do stuff.
Yeah. No, I've listened to your albums before, or I listened to the latest album you shared, and yeah, it's really cool.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah, of
appreciate that.
course. Yeah. And also you're like a big movie buff too, because we would
I
like
am. I am. I am. I have my HU or my collection's hiding behind me right now. It's not as big as yours. I can
oh
tell.
yeah. No, it's like it's the movies, I love
Yeah.
physical media. There's no bad
I
amount,
need to get. Yeah. I need to get more of the physical media.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's really cool to have you because yeah, we would when we were in like company calls or like whatever meetings, we would just like talk movies and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, we would just
We
like
we would bullshit a lot on
yeah.
the company call.
Yeah,
It
well,
was fun.
it's team building. It was team building,
It
which
was bonding. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. So like, yeah, like we were doing our job. Yeah.
Yeah. We got stuff done.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna talk Civil War, which I really enjoyed. I know you liked, right?
it's interesting. I thought it was a really entertaining movie. Um, that didn't really have as much to say as it pretended.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was my takeaway from it. It was super entertaining and
mhm.
compelling, but every time I thought about I'd be like, well, okay, why did that? We'll get more into it, but
Yeah, yeah. I got like 13 questions for you.
hmm
So if anyone, if this is your like first episode listening, well, we only have two episodes so far. But yeah, if this is your first one, the purpose of this is to speed run the podcast where I'm going to give Jeremy or any other guest 10, 13, 14 questions that are kind of like topics that we'll talk about. I might try to segue the guest into getting off topic a little bit. I won't try to do it like, whatever, but like wherever the conversation goes. And we're going to try to cover these like 13 talking points in 10 minutes, which
yeah,
is
these
like
are pretty
it's
good.
yeah. I hope you like the questions. Hopefully we get to all of them,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, we'll go right into it. I have the timer. Anything you want to say about this movie before we get into a speed run of a podcast episode?
Um, Real quick, I'll mention I accidentally bought tickets for the 4DX viewing of it without realizing it. And
Yeah.
that the whole time I was like getting jostled around, and I was like, no, this might not be in the best taste to
Yeah.
have a 4DX Civil War. I had a
Yeah.
good time, but
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, okay. But yeah, that will color some of my answers, I think.
I want to see 4DX of Civil War.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it was
Yeah.
interesting.
But cool. I guess I'm gonna get my timer ready. So Jeremy, I'll tell you when we start, whenever you're ready. And I'll get the first question going.
hmm
And 1 second. And here we go. Timer is good. So Jeremy, what was the favorite scene? What was your favorite scene in the film?
My favorite scene. Well, I have a feeling it's kind of everybody's favorite scene, and well, it's kind of a tie. But I think for my answer, I'm gonna give the scene with Jesse Plemons with the mass grave. That scene was so fucking intense, and
Yeah.
he really steals the show. And I was even looking up like Googling things like why he would be wearing those specific glasses. And
Hmm.
it's so he's better at seeing movement and detail and basically
Holy
killing
shit.
people.
Yeah.
And my read, I don't know what your read of that
Hmm.
scene was, because the whole movie's pretty vague on who's fighting, who
Yes.
like what side is which, and that's actually kind of one of my problems with it. But that scene, my interpretation of it is that they have now crossed the front line basically because they're
Mm.
driving from West Virginia into Virginia to get to Charlottesville.
Yeah.
And my guess is those are US government soldiers who are fighting for the president, and they know that like they're just killing people because they see them everyone is the enemy. Because there was no, they mentioned in the movie that there's no soldiers in the pile of bodies. It was
Yeah.
all civilians.
Civilians. Yeah.
And yeah, that was like really messed up. And because he really played it as somebody who was like just fucking done, didn't see anybody as a person anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
That
very
was, yeah,
intense.
it was
Jeremy.
very tense.
Yeah. Jesse Plemons, great actor. He had
Great
like
actor.
2 days to prepare for that role. So
Yeah, yeah, he almost wasn't in it
yeah, he
apparently.
almost was in it.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's a good answer. What were your expectations going to this movie? Are you like an A24 fan?
I mean, yeah, I actually, you sent that question and I had to think about it a little bit. I would say I'm an A24 fan. I'm definitely more into their horror movies. Those are the ones that generally get me to buy a ticket to go see.
Hmm.
But I would say, yeah, by and large, I am an A24 fan. I think they tend to make pretty thoughtful movies.
Yeah.
And I like that some studios are doing mid to low budget movies still. There's
Yeah.
at least one, you know?
Yeah. 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 The studios have like forgot about that they could do that. Like they don't have to spend
Yeah.
300 million
Yeah.
every
I think
movie. So,
this movie was 25 million, I think,
I
or no, it
some
made 25 million, I think.
25 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have the budget on me, but
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that was kind of like your expectation. So like that's
Yeah.
cool. Did you have like
Oh
a
yeah,
favorite?
sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I guess I didn't answer my expectations were I was not I was kind of expecting it to it was what I expected, like a very entertaining movie that like I wish had more to say
Hmm.
at times.
Yeah. 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 No, that's yeah. I guess we'll get into that.
Yeah.
What was your favorite character in the film and why?
My favorite character was Sammy.
Yeah.
Um, and I can't remember the actor's name. I have the IMDb
Oh
pulled up
yeah.
right now,
He's
but
yeah,
he's
he's great.
Thufir Hawat in the
Hmm.
Dune movie. But
Yeah.
I thought he was good, and he was the most relatable character to me because he was the one who had been doing this the longest, and
Hmm.
he had seen it, and he had seen what could happen,
Yeah.
and he was the only one that really understood the gravity of the situation, and he ends up saving them in the end and dies for it. And yeah,
Yeah.
mostly I felt bad for Sammy.
Yeah. For Sammy, R.I.P. Well
R.I.P.
said. Yeah. They cut him out of Dune Part Two.
I know. They
That's
cut all the mentats out.
I
It's okay.
know.
The movie's perfect.
It's fair. Yeah. How does this compare to like any other A24 film that you like really enjoyed? Like say like Ex
um,
Machina.
yeah, actually, this might lead into another question that you uh, uh, asked. How does this
Mhm.
compare to
Yeah.
other Alex Garland movies too? And I think that it's so hard. They have such a range, the A24 movies,
Hmm.
but the ones that I like the most do have like a definitive message and have something that they're trying to say. Not like this movie didn't, but I think he more wanted to make a movie about photojournalists, and
Yeah.
he had to do he did a Civil War backdrop so people would give him money to make it. That's what I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Uh and I and so and especially like when ranking this compared to Alex Garland's other movies, um on a scale of like Ex Machina to like 28 weeks later, this is
Yeah.
definitely more of a 28 weeks later where it's
Yeah.
just kind of an entertaining movie. and Ex Machina, the whole movie is like begging you to take every bit of it seriously, and
Hmm.
the every all the set design, the characters, the pacing, the blocking, everything is like seems so deliberate in a way that this movie didn't
Yeah.
seem so much.
Yeah. Yeah. No, very well said. I can't add anything to that. Because you're also a musician, what did you think of like the musical choices? So like the needle drops in the movie?
I thought they were good. I liked them a lot. I
Yeah.
thought they were very affecting. I found some. I actually didn't know about Suicide before seeing this movie,
Hmm.
and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And yeah, and Sturgill, was it Sturgill Simpson? I think
Hmm. Yeah.
that song is yeah, that's one that I knew going into it, and I was like, I think that worked really well for that scene. And I'm guessing I looked at a map to like try and plot out what their route was after I saw the movie,
Yeah.
and my guess is that's the Monongahela National Forest that's on fire when Sammy's dying and they're going
Oh,
through in West Virginia, but I could be wrong.
yeah. Interesting scene.
It's a very
Uh,
interesting scene.
yeah, I guess okay. Next one, thoughts on the alternative kind of like history of America right now or in the movie, yeah.
Yeah. That was another like I think yeah, it was just a little too vague, and it it wanted it did mirror our reality, except for the parts where I think Alex Garland thought it would be too uncomfortable to elaborate on. And so like there are Americans who are wielding guns when it works for the story, but all of a sudden it's just like a normal country where
Yeah.
half the population isn't armed.
Yeah.
And the I thought that like I needed more because there is a lot of reasons why somebody a civil war might start in America right now, and I
Yeah.
think people
Yeah.
are just kind of angry is not like that's what
Yeah.
he's said in interviews, and
Uh-huh.
when he's been asked like is it irresponsible to make this movie
Uh-huh.
now, and his answer is kind of like I think it would be irresponsible to not say anything,
Yeah.
and I feel like that is kind of what he did. But you know,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I guess kind of going off of that is a funny one. Can you tell a British guy wrote the movie?
I could. I feel like I could. I feel like I could tell that a British dude wrote the movie because yeah, just to it did feel like he didn't there was like a lack of willingness to engage with the seriousness of of this. And
Yeah. Yeah.
um I mean the yeah, they I think it's Kirsten Dunst's
Yes.
character who has the line of we don't think about it. Or is it Wagner Morrow? I can't remember
Hmm.
which one says it, but they're like, we don't think about it, we just shoot it,
Yep.
and somebody else thinks about it.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind of the main theme of the movie, but it also I think reflects the viewpoints of the filmmaker, where he's like, I'm just showing you a lot to think about. And it's like, is it? This was that's
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
don't
guess
know. What did you thought?
oh, I just like I could tell because it's like he just didn't not to like, not like people like not to like gatekeep or like, oh, people from like other countries can't like America, but it's like certain
Right.
stuff. It's like why would Florida, Texas, and California be in like an
That's what
alliance?
yeah,
Yeah.
that I now I California is as I mean, you and I,
Yeah.
you're from the land of Nixon, right?
Yeah, I'm from
Whittier.
Whittier. Yeah.
Yeah, so like we know how conservative California can be.
Yeah.
And but it just doesn't reflect the actual reality
Yeah.
of today.
Of today, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last scene, what does it mean?
I mean, I think Sammy said it, right?
Hmm.
And he was because the for those I don't know why you'd be watching this if you hadn't seen the movie, but if if in this there's a scene where Sammy where Wagner Morrow is like what do you think the president's going to say when I get the microphone in front of him? And Sammy is like Ceausescu, Gaddafi, these guys are all small men, and when you finally meet them they'll just disappoint you. They're not as big as their personas. And I think like yeah, Nick Offerman's last line of him just like, please don't let them kill me. It
Hmm.
was I think that was perfect. I think that
Yeah,
did sum up
that was the quote.
what he set up in the
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
oh
and that is
hey
time.
Boom. Right. We did it.
Yeah, you
Oh,
did it.
almost one question, couple questions
Yeah.
left, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. No, it's like, it's the fun of it, not,
Mhm.
don't, yeah, it's not like you need to
Flying
get,
on the edge of your seat.
yeah, exactly. It's the ride, not, the destination.
Exactly.
So yeah, I wish we
Exactly.
got, because we had two questions left.
We
So,
did.
but no, you did a great job. So
Thank you.
this is
Thank
like,
you.
yeah, I wouldn't speed run a podcast with anyone else. Well, I will,
Thanks.
but
Well, you will.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
would love
but
to do it again.
yeah, no, it'd be good to have you on here. It was cool having you, but yeah, it was yeah, I guess that was our thing. Yeah, yeah, that was a speed running a conversation on Civil War, but it was cool. What did you think being on a speed run of a podcast?
That was fun. I would definitely do it again. If there are
Yeah,
any other movies you want to talk about in the
yeah,
future, hit me up.
yeah.
I've been eyeing that Zendaya Challengers movie. I
Ooh,
think I'm gonna go
yeah.
see that for sure next weekend.
It looks really good.
It
I look.
does. It's been getting good reviews too.
Mm-hmm. It was
And
cool, man.
I love Zendaya, and she was probably my favorite part of Dune Part Two, actually.
Yeah, great actor, great actress, excuse me. But yeah, I think that's it, great contestant.
Yeah.
Kind of what we do, every podcast we have like kind of like an outro. So is there anything
Mhm.
you want to like plug or promote for any listeners to check out?
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at social media, so I don't
Okay.
really have a presence there. But I do, as I mentioned before, I make music and I have a band camp. Um, and I don't know, maybe you can put a link
Yes, I
somewhere in the
will put
description.
I will.
But I'll say it out loud. It's Pinguicula at bandcamp.com. And Pinguicula. It's a type of plant. Actually,
Oh yeah, of course.
it's this kind of plant. It's a carnivorous
Oh,
plant.
nice. I love all your
But in
plants.
Latin, it means greasy little thing, and that's why I
Oh,
picked it.
very cool. I love, yeah, you always post like cool plants and stuff. And yeah,
Yeah, I have a giant plant collection.
yeah.
And it's growing every day. I think we actually got more last weekend, this
Oh,
weekend.
nice. Yeah. Go to the 99-cent store and like clear out all the plant section because
Yeah,
they're trying to get rid of stuff.
they're trying. Oh, I know. Yeah, like an RIP to the 99-cent store.
IP. I'll miss just, buying random stuff from you.
I
Yeah.
know.
But yeah, no, definitely check out Jeremy's band. They're great. Yeah, worth a listen. I'll put the link to the Bandcamp in the description. So definitely check that out. But cool, man. Yeah, it's good having
Oh,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. I'll be
definitely.
back anytime.
Hell yeah. So yeah, we'll be glad to have you back. But yeah, for us, yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, G9892. You can follow the Waffle Press at the Waffle Press Podcast on Twitter, at the Waffle Press Podcast on Instagram. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and was it iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud? I almost oh okay. And yeah, please like, share, subscribe on there. If there's something you like it anyway. Something you like it. It's a fun podcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We've been professionally unprofessional. Bye.
Bye.